Maka, do not rub against that tripod or I swear to God I will turn you into a sock. This hat's itchy, I'm taking it off. And a happy new year, I'm late. I think it's kind of impossible to learn a language without sort of, at least inadvertently, learning a bit about the culture as you do, because there are certain elements to learning a language that will introduce you to aspects of a culture because they tie into the language itself. Angus, you rub against that tripod one more time, then you are going back into my arms, because I love you. No, Angus, no. Angus! Someone's gonna get turned into a scarf if he keeps on nudging the tripod. Yes, he is. Now I need to get up that article to make sure that I'm not speaking out of my ass. The cool thing about filming a video for this challenge 3 weeks into 2019 is that I'm technically not that late to Russian New Year, because technically it happens 2 weeks later. What I love, personally, is someone who just thinks Christmas is relatively overrated. New Year is actually more heavily celebrated and more hyped and more anticipated than Christmas itself. Christmas actually wasn't really celebrated in Russia at all until very recently. The New Year is like everywhere else in the world, I presume, except for China, celebrated on January the 1st. But there's actually an old New Year which takes place on January the 14th. So in the 2 weeks between our New Year and the Russian old New Year, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Pretty much like the entirety of December and half of November and also October and September and in some cases August, where, you know, we just don't shut up about Christmas. So basically the reason that there is an old New Year as well as a new one is because the old Orthodox calendar, which the Russians actually use until very recently, that was when their New Year was, and now they celebrate it on January the 1st as a way of celebrating moving on to the Gregorian calendar, which is what the rest of the world uses. I say rest of the world, it's not. I did a whole video on that, really. I should know these things. So now they kind of sort of celebrate both as a way of sort of looking back on the past and celebrating the future. So in honor of celebrating the occasion in Russia that I've missed for about a week, I'm gonna learn some phrases that they might say at this time of year, which I'm now prepared for 11 months from now. So who's the real winner? Something in my eye. Something in my eye. Oh, it's me. Me, I'm the loser. I'm the loser. Happy New Year in Russian.
С Новым годом.
So it's snovim. Snovim. The singular letter there at the beginning is really throwing me off because, like, if I were to see that as an English speaker, I would just presume that you said the letter and then the words, but Snovim Godom. I've actually missed learning Russian. I haven't missed listening to myself attempt to pronounce it. Literally all my tabs are language related. Can you tell I'm interesting? Okay, so I have a list of words here that are apparently sort of synonymous with the new year and the kind of things that you would hear and say a lot. God. So that means year, which really throws me off because if I were to hear God by its own, I would, as a speaker of a Germanic language, presume that they were saying good. Then I remember Russian is not a Germanic language. Why would that be an issue?
Полночь.
Polnach. So that's midnight. I don't know why I'm telling you this. You're gonna see it on a side-by-side right here. I don't know if I've actually learned that word yet, but I'm gonna presume that nach is night. It's nacht or nuit or noche in a lot of other places. So that, at least, you know, is something. This is where I actually find out that it's mid, and I've just been wrong all along.
Шампанское.
Шампанское. Personally, I'm more fond of how it looks in English, which is Wamnako.
Новый год.
Новый год. So that's very similar to Happy New Year, which I guess makes sense considering Happy New Year and New Year's Day share 2/3 of like a phrase.
Тост.
Now we're talking. I mean, I don't really have a comment for that. It's toast.
Вечеринка.
Cool. Okay. So вечеринkas are the things I'm never invited to.
Салют.
Salute. This is another one that throws me because if I heard salute, I would think of salute or salut, which is hello, like a hi in French, and also a way of saying goodbye. So that does throw me. It means firework. Completely unrelated. But I like fireworks. You can have that one.
Танец.
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 Tanец. You know, now that I actually hear the word spoken at its regular speed, it does sound a bit like dance, or as I like to say, dance, which, as a Londoner living in Devon, my friends like to rip the shit out of me for. Dance. Shut up.
Отсчет времени.
Отсчет времени. Let's count down. Do.
Отсчет времени. Конфетти.
Confetti. It's confetti. It's confetti. Throw. It sounds the same.
Празднование.
Празднование. Things I have never felt.
Канун Нового года.
Kanun Novого года. That is very easy to stumble over, which I guess is synonymous with New Year's Eve anyway, so that's fine.
Резолюция.
Oh, it's resolution. 100% read that as revolution, which is probably, maybe possibly in bad taste, given that I'm talking about Russia.
Новогодние каникулы.
Новогодние каникулы. So I'm guessing, by the powers of deduction, that caniculi is holiday. I know that in most other countries they have different words for, like, national holidays as opposed to, like, vacation holidays, because as far as I'm aware, England is the only place, well, Great Britain is the only place where we say we're going on holiday as opposed to going on vacation. So I'm actually interested to know now what the word for vacation is in Russian.
Парад.
Parad. Well, I mean, that's nice and easy. I guess it's good to close on a easier note. So to recap, год, полночь, шампанское, Новый год, тост, вечеринка, салют, танец, отсчет времени, конфетти, празднование.
New Year's Eve.
Канун Нового года. I think that one actually might be my favorite. Резолюция, новогодние каникулы, and парад. Yeah, I'd say that accounts for like 15 minutes or so of learning. Oh no, my debit card's in there. Whoops. So that was actually kind of fun. Over the course of Christmas and the New Year, I have actually been, you know, keeping up with my Russian on Duolingo just to, again, familiarize myself with the sounds and the spelling, because it's like a completely different writing system. It is very, very easy for the sounds to slip your mind and for you to get thrown off, especially when we share a lot of the same letters, but the sounds don't always match up. My initial impression of Russian was that it was terrifying, and I'd say it's now been downgraded to slightly daunting. And by slightly, I mean very daunting, but that's still definitely less than terrifying. If I were to see a whole bunch of Russian characters thrown at me, I would probably be able to identify most of them based on the sound that they make, but there is definitely still a long way that I have to go, and I know that if I keep doing a little bit on Duolingo every day, as well as making these videos as often as I can, then I will eventually familiarize myself with it. But I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the New Year traditions in Russia. I know I did. I actually thought it was super cool, because obviously I'm so used to hearing about the New Year that we know on January the 1st, and then China. So it actually completely threw me, because of course it didn't occur to me that there must be like millions and different traditions that every country celebrates, and so of course it doesn't surprise me at all that there's, like, you know, just a completely different time of year that it's celebrated. I'm definitely gonna do some more reading on that now, I think, especially while it's still topical. It's January the something while I'm recording this. I don't actually want to find out what the date is, because I don't want to admit that it took me far too long to film this one. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I shaved off my sideburns with a fucking Bic razor, because it's just not a struggle I don't want to deal with anymore. Spasibo very much for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow. One of these days I will say that in Russian. It won't be today or this year, probably. До свидания!